You must have seen her face before, but how well do you really know her? This is the Mona Lisa, the most iconic artwork by Leonardo da Vinci. Also known as La Gioconda in Italian, the Mona Lisa is an oil painting on poplar wood, measuring just 77 by 53 centimeters. Leonardo began working on it around 1503 in Florence, Italy, and continued refining it for years, possibly until 1517 or even close to his death in 1519. Since the French Revolution, the painting has been owned by the government of France and has been on display at the Louvre Museum in Paris since 1797. But who is she? The woman in the portrait is widely believed to be Lisa del Giocondo, wife of a wealthy Florentine silk merchant named Francesco del Giocondo. They married in 1495 when Lisa was just 15 and Francesco was twice her age. The painting is thought to have been commissioned to celebrate the birth of their second son and the purchase of a new home. The identity of the woman in the painting was debated for centuries, giving rise to many theories. Some believed she was Leonardo's own mother. Others argued the portrait was a hidden self-portrait in disguise. But in 2005, a remarkable discovery shifted the narrative. A scholar at Heidelberg University uncovered a handwritten note by Agostino Vespucci, a contemporary of Leonardo da Vinci. Vespucci wrote that Leonardo was working on a portrait of Lisa del Giocondo at that time. Since then, Lisa has remained the most widely accepted subject behind the painting. Interestingly, Leonardo never delivered the finished painting to the Giocondo family. Instead, he kept it with him, refining it slowly over the years, treating it less like a commission and more like a personal project. To truly understand the Mona Lisa, we need to go back to the world that shaped her, the Italian Renaissance. The early 1500s were a time of sweeping change. Italy wasn't yet a unified nation, but a mosaic of rival city-states, each alive with creativity, business, and big ideas. Florence, where Leonardo began the portrait, was at the center of it all. A rich and powerful city driven by banking and controlled by influential merchant families. This was also the age of humanism, when attention shifted from religion to human potential. People began to ask many questions about the universe, nature, and also the meaning of themselves. Artists weren't just painters anymore. They were thinkers, inventors, scientists. And Leonardo da Vinci was at the center of this revolution. He explored anatomy, engineering, flight, and always chasing the deeper truths behind what he saw. It was in this time and place that he started what would become his most famous work, a portrait that reflects not just one woman, but the spirit of a whole era. So, what makes the Mona Lisa so endlessly compelling? It's far more than just a pretty face. It's the way she looks at you, and how Leonardo chose to show her. At a time when most depicted subjects in a rigid profile view, Leonardo did something different. He turned her toward us, presenting his sitter in a three-quarter pose, a small shift that made the image feel more natural and personal, as if she were quietly engaging with us. This new style, mixing elegance with emotion, changed the way portraits were painted in Florence for the next 20 years. But what truly sets her apart and continues to captivate viewers centuries later is her gaze. Look closely. Her eyes seem to be looking just off to the side, but as you move, it feels like she's watching you. In Leonardo's time, it was unusual for a woman in a portrait to look straight at the viewer. But here, she meets our eyes with calm confidence. It feels like she's not only being observed, she's observing us too. And then there's her smile, the most iconic and puzzling feature of the Mona Lisa. Sometimes her expression feels warm and knowing. Other times, it almost fades away. After years of studying and dissecting real faces, he understood how tiny shifts in muscle and shadow could completely change what we see. That's what makes her expression feel so lifelike and also mysterious. Harvard neurophysiologist Dr. Margaret Livingston discovered that the Mona Lisa's smile changes depending on how we look at her. When you look at her eyes, your side vision picks up the shadows on her cheeks, and your brain interprets them as a smile. But when you look directly at her mouth, the smile seems to fade. The landscape behind her is more than just a background. For centuries, experts have debated whether the setting in Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa is purely imaginary or based on real locations in Italy. Anne Pizzarusso, a geologist and Renaissance art historian, believes she's found the answer. She suggests that Leonardo based the background on the area around Lecco, a town on the shores of Lake Como in northern Italy. There's nothing accidental about the way she looks at us. It was the result of Leonardo's extraordinary fusion of art and science, the eye of a painter and the mind of a scientist. He invented sfumato, which means to evaporate like smoke, a painting technique that softens the transition between colors, almost like looking at something just outside the focus of your eyes. Leonardo used this approach to create a gentle blur across his paintings. In the Mona Lisa, you can see it clearly in her eyes and mouth. There are no sharp lines, just smooth, hazy transitions. This gives her face a soft, lifelike quality, as if she's quietly breathing, maybe even about to speak. He also used chiaroscuro, the careful use of light and shadow to shape her face. Instead of flat contrast, it adds volume and depth, making her feel three-dimensional, almost lit from within. On top of that, he applied up to 30 different layers of semi-transparent glazes, each no thicker than half a human hair containing tiny amounts of pigment mixed with oil. These layers bend the light in subtle ways, giving her skin a glowing depth that feels alive. While already a revered artwork, the Mona Lisa's transformation into a global celebrity truly began with an audacious act: the theft of 1911. On August 21st, an Italian handyman named Vincenzo Perugia, who worked at the Louvre, simply hid the painting under his smock and walked out. The theft went unnoticed for an astonishing 24 hours. Newspapers around the world ran wild with headlines, and in a strange twist, crowds rushed to the Louvre just to stare at the empty spot where the painting used to hang. In December 1913, Perugia was finally caught when he tried to sell the painting to an art dealer in Florence. He claimed he acted out of patriotism, believing the painting had been stolen from Italy by Napoleon, though in reality, it had been legally acquired by the French royal collection long before. The painting was exhibited in Italy before its grand return to the Louvre on January 4, 1914. This dramatic saga generated huge publicity for an art theft, elevating the Mona Lisa from a celebrated masterpiece to a global cultural phenomenon. For over 500 years, the Mona Lisa has withstood the test of time, and even violence. In 1956, a rock thrown at the painting shattered its protective glass. Since then, the Mona Lisa has been kept behind bulletproof glass and maintained in strict conditions. However, her global fame continues to draw unusual and often bizarre attempts at vandalism. From a ceramic mug in 2009, to a cake in 2022, and even soup in 2024. The Mona Lisa is quite literally a resilient survivor. The Mona Lisa became the defining model of the Renaissance portrait, setting a new standard that would influence generations of artists. Her three-quarter pose became the new standard for Renaissance portraits. Even the great Raphael was inspired by it. He used some similar elements in his own work. But over time, the Mona Lisa became more than just a painting. Her image has been copied and parodied in countless ways. Artists like Marcel Duchamp added a mustache to her face in a playful act of rebellion. Her presence also reaches into music, movies, and books. Beyoncé and Jay-Z shot a music video in front of her. Nat King Cole sang about her smile, and in the Da Vinci Code, she's part of the mystery at the heart of the story. Did you know the Mona Lisa is considered one of the most valuable paintings in the world? In 1962, it was insured for $100 million, a sum that would be worth around $1 billion today. But even that number doesn't capture her true worth. As part of the Louvre's permanent collection, she belongs to the public. And as many would say, the public belongs to her. What do you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss what's coming next.